Hi, my name is Siri and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. So today we are going to be discussing bronzer, and the bronzer we're going to be talking about today is the Anastasia cream bronzer, and this is it right here. I have the shade Hazelnut. As you can see, I've used this product a couple times before, but I feel like I've never really gotten the hang of it for it to stay in my everyday makeup routine. So today I thought it'd be fun to just go through my makeup routine and kind of give you guys a mini review / try to get this product to be what I want it to be. So if that sounds interesting to you, then just keep watching. Okay, so for a little bit of background on this product, I'm on Sephora just looking at the info page. This product retails for $35 and it looks like it has 10 shades, and I have the shade Hazelnut, which is the third darkest shade. So I did get this product sent to me a while ago, so I didn't get to pick the exact shade, or I may have gotten to pick it, but then I picked the wrong shade. I don't remember, it was a while ago. Hey y'all, future me here. So basically the whole thing with the shades is that at the time I got sent the product, Hazelnut was the best shade for me. The only shade in front of it was Caramel, which is for tan to deep skin tones, and Caramel is very light. So that's why I have a shade that's super deep, because the shade range initially was not that great, but they fixed it. Like I said earlier, this is the third deepest shade. It is described as a deep shade with warm undertones, and I personally think I could go for deep tan, which is tan to deep with neutral undertone, or terracotta, which is tan to deep with warm red undertones. So I think I should personally be in the deep tan category, but nonetheless, I'm still going to try out the shade. So looking at the packaging, this is what it looks like. I personally am so in love with this packaging. I have no idea why. It's pretty simple. It just has this matte skin tone cap with the gold Anastasia logo, and then it's just in this this is a cylinder container. It's been a while since geometry. I just like that it's simple, it's not bulky, and it's still really cute. Also, the container is plastic, not glass, so if you're worried about breaking stuff while you're traveling, you don't have to worry about that. So Anastasia claims that this product is obviously a cream formula, but it also has a matte finish, and they also claim the product is fragrance free, which I can agree. It doesn't smell like anything, so if you're sensitive to fragrance, this will be good for you. The company claims that the product grips to skin with a flexible hold that doesn't streak, patch, oxidize, or smudge the complexion layers underneath, and that it easily builds from soft to bold definition. It also has pretty good ratings on Sephora. It has 4.5 stars. So I have a little bit of experience with cream bronzer. For a while, it was my bronzer of choice, and the cream bronzer that I really love is the Black Radiance Cream Contour Palette, and this was my holy grail bronzer shade, and I still love this. This is my third palette. This is the shade Contour, and this is what I would usually use, and I'm going to show you what Contour looks like in comparison with Hazelnut. So obviously Hazelnut's a little bit darker. Once again, I think I should have been a deep tan, but usually I am towards the darker end of the spectrum. So another contour that I found that I quite like is from the NYX Contour Correct and Conceal palette, and this is in the shade Deep. I don't think it's too far off. So now that we have shade comparisons, I'm going to jump right into my complexion. Not as tan as I guess I usually am in the summertime in years past, because everything seems to be too dark for me. So I'm going to mix the Maybelline Matte and Poreless in the shade 338 Spicy Brown, which is usually my summer shade. It is a little dark for me now. And I'm going to take a little bit of my Loreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation in the shade 510 and mix these together and get hopefully a usable shade. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of Maybelline, a little bit of L'Oreal. I think this is a pretty good match, I think. So next I'm going to just blend this all in with a brush. And I need a little bit of foundation just in the center. And another thing I'm going to do today that I usually don't do is apply more foundation on my forehead. I usually don't do this because, as you can see, my forehead is a lot darker than my face, and so it usually wipes everything away. But because this bronzer is so dark, it should have the power to bring back the color. So I'm going to try to erase a good portion of my forehead. Oh my god, I look so ashy. Okay, and now I'm officially casket ready. So next I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to do the bronzer before I do concealer, just in case I go way too crazy with the bronzer. I can re-brighten everything up, and we can always go back in with bronzer after. Okay, so I have a couple brushes that I have used in the past for cream bronzer. One brush that I used to always use for cream bronzer with the Black Radiance palette was a kabuki brush. Because there is such a large surface area in the pan, you can easily tap in the product, and then you can cover really large areas like your forehead really quickly. Another brush that I use is this sculpting brush. This is more for areas where you just want like a strategic amount of bronze, or if I wanted to only really apply it on the edge of the hairline, this is what I would use this for. I have this kabuki brush. It's not as round as this one, and so this is good for covering more surface area on the cheeks or slightly more surface area on the forehead, but not quite the full round kabuki. And then I have this new brush, which is more like rounded, and I don't know what to use this for, so I thought maybe this would be good for cream contour. So I'm first going to start with this brush. This is from Real Techniques, and this is number 200, the Expert Face Brush. I'm going to take a little bit in the pan. Oh, that kind of looks like a lot of product. I don't know if I need that much. It's pretty creamy. Kind of almost want to tap the excess off on my hand. This is what it looks like, by the way. I didn't swatch it earlier, but you can see it's pretty dark and it's pretty neutral, at least on my skin. And I'm going to lightly swirl this on the forehead, and I would probably stop there. As you can see, it's really dark, and so I don't want to look muddy. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to blend it out. Okay, this is without the bronzer, and this is with the bronzer. Going back in, literally just tapping it once. Maybe we'll tap it twice. There we go. How do we feel? And usually what I would do is I would take my foundation brush and I would kind of blend the product out. I don't know how it looks on camera, but in real life, this actually looks quite okay. It is more of a toasty bronzer, but it looks good in my opinion. I definitely would personally grab a lighter shade, but I like the finish. It's not super shiny and glossy. It set down, it blended really nicely in with the foundation. I'm gonna do another layer. Once again, starting around the hairline so I can blend it down. And then I'm going to just blend it. Next, I'm going to go in with a sculpting brush because I do not want my cheeks to be muddy. So I'm going to, once again, just evenly apply this on. That's a lot of product. Ugh. Gonna take some excess off, and I'm going to sculpt my cheeks. I'm not quite an expert at sculpting. I usually use bronzer when I do, and so it never really looks that bad. But when it comes to contour, gonna be honest, don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm supposed to go like down. Oh well. And then I'm gonna push this into my hairline. I don't really know how to blend this out, so I'm gonna use that Expert Face Brush again and just tap in the product. It looks a little bit like a line. I'm just taking my foundation brush and blending it out again. It actually doesn't look that bad. I feel like it looks harsher on camera than it does in real life. Moving on, I'm kind of scared for the next part. I'm going to take a little bit on this detail brush and I'm going to add some definition to the brow bone. I'm not going on the nose. I do not want to self-sabotage myself with this color, but I think like here is like safe. And just kind of sculpt a line. Add like a shadow. And then I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush. It is called the 300 Deluxe Crease Brush. And I'm just going to blend that out. My issue is I just don't want to self-sabotage this look. And so that's why I'm just been more reluctant to go really heavy. Overall, that blended pretty well. I would say it's a really dark shade and it still looks really nice. It didn't disrupt any areas of my makeup. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to do like the jawline. Is that what people do? Like there. Maybe the lips. I'm going to use this crease brush to blend it out. I kind of like how it looks on the lips. And there you have it. Do I look bronzed? I think I do. I am bronzed, but it's blended. I used barely any product. So I would imagine that this product would last you a really long time because I was able to tap the brush and the product was super creamy and instantly clung onto the brush, and then it easily transferred from the brush to my skin. Now I'm going to finish my face. I almost kind of don't want to. I feel like I look kind of naturally bronzed. I'm kind of here for it. So continuing on with the face, I'm going to go in with my tried and true, my Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer in the shade 4N. I haven't used this in a while. I've been trying out a lot of new products, so it's nice to visit this old friend. I thought this would be a good concealer to use today because it's not too bright, so it's not going to be too much of a contrast from the bronzer. And also, it's a neutral tone, so it's not going to pull my face an extreme shade and then have this super toasty bronzer pull my face like a completely different way. In the past few months, I have been really lazy when it comes to blending out my concealer, and a symptom of that laziness is not wetting a beauty blender. I feel like I will return to doing that sometime soon, but in the meantime, I'm just going to use my finger. I haven't tried it with this concealer, so let's see how it works. It looks pretty good to me. Sometimes I go in at the very end with a sponge just to even out my like fingerprints. I think I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more in the center. And I'm going to use a dry beauty sponge just to do this quickly. There we go. And next, I'm just going to powder my face with the Mercier translucent powder. And I'm just going to use a tapered brush to do this. Oh, how I've missed this concealer. I think it's one of the best concealers on the market. Honestly, it's so easy to set, yet it looks so natural. I'm going to take a little bit of concealer right here and maybe a little bit right here to highlight. Didn't really do much on the forehead, but that's fine. I didn't really need it there. Once again, just gonna powder. And this is the face. I think it looks pretty good, honestly. I've been going for a lighter look on an everyday basis, and I could honestly leave the house looking just like this. Is it bad that I kind of want to stop doing my makeup like right here? I feel like this looks finished. And you know what? There are no rules to makeup, and I am gonna finish this look right here. I am perfectly happy with how my face looks right now. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of lip balm. This is just Laneige Lip Glowy Balm in Peach, and I'm just gonna apply this to my lips. And the bronzer is almost like a little lip liner. I want to apply a little bit of gloss in the center, so I'm going to use the Anastasia gloss in the shade Undressed and just tap this in the center. Just a little bit. And I'm just going to take a brush. And this is the final look. Very effortless. Very natural. So like I said before, this wasn't my first time using this bronzer. However, I will say this is my first time like falling in love with it. Like I said earlier, the color, it's a little dark. And so that was kind of an issue for me, and I kept getting very muddy looks. But since trying it today and realizing that you don't really need a lot of product, this is very creamy. One thing that I really was intrigued by was when I put it on my lip, it stayed pretty nicely around my lips, giving my lips this kind of bronzy look, which which I'm so into. And also surprised, it blended pretty good around the bridge of my nose. We didn't get a super muddy look because you do not need a heavy hand with this product, and you literally could even like tap off the excess on the back of your hand just to make sure that you don't use too much product. I also like that they have 10 shades, and I would recommend that you probably go in person or at least look at swatches before ordering, especially if you have darker skin and you're probably used to picking like the darkest shade or the second darkest shade. You may not need as dark of a shade as you think. This just looks really nice. I feel like I just look healthy and radiant. If I haven't already made it clear enough, I really recommend this product. I think you get a lot of product for your money. I think it's going to last you a really long time because it has such a big surface area. You can put virtually any brush into it, and also it dries down so you don't have that sticky layer on top of your foundation, and you don't have to worry about using a ton of powder or using a separate bronzer to set it. It can stand on its own pretty well. You can just do a little veil like I like to do sometimes. It's just like a security blanket, but the product is not tacky on my face at all. It's not transferring onto my fingers. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I enjoyed filming it. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, my loves.